I just got a text from Ms. James who says I must extend her apology. She says she will join but not participate because she's not feeling well.
Oh, okay. So does the committee have a quorum at the time we start now?
Chair, we do have a quorum.
Okay. Okay. So the understanding should be that Honorable Cropper and Honorable Kuala Barnard are full members on behalf of Honorable Breitenbach and Honorable Cameron. Is that the understanding?
Honorable Breitenbach has joined. Chair, I see that.
Okay. Well, welcome, Honorable.
Thank you, Chair.
Good morning, Honorable Breitenbach, and welcome.
Thank you. Chair, I'm driving. I'm on the way to the airport. So if we're not done by the time I have to board, I will, please excuse me.
What time are you boarding?
At 11:50.
Okay.
All right.
Honorable Massais has also joined. Good morning, Honorable Massais.
Good morning, Chair.
Thank you so much.
We'll join us shortly. We also just have our War Council meeting today as well, so we're just trying to manage the two meetings.
What is the apology for Honorable Malem?
Yes, he will join us shortly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, we have a very few items on the agenda. Maybe just to explain the agenda to you, in our last meeting, we have agreed that we should have a report that we should send to the office of the Speaker to update her on the work that has been done. And then members will motivate why there must be an extension. And then once that item is done, a letter will be written to the office of the Speaker and the report of the committee will be attached. And then the Speaker will make a decision. But I have also requested through Mr. Frolik that I have a meeting with him and the Speaker and the Chief Whip and the chair of the JSCI on Wednesday morning to deal with all these matters that affect the work of the committee. And then the second item will be the timetable of activities that will be happening between now and next week. And then the other activities will be informed by the outcome of the letter that we would have written to the Speaker. So the firm presentation or firm proposals on activities of next week that will be presented here will be on activities that will be happening probably until the 21st of November. And then we will also receive the written legal opinion on the matter which the committee has requested regarding the participation of Honorable Diane Kuala Barnard. And then there are 5 sets of minutes which have been circulated to members. They are going to be presented here. We will not read those minutes in the meeting. They will be considered as read because they have been sent to members ahead of time. And then the last item, which is the public submissions, is an item which the committee has agreed that we will need a full day to deal with that item. And if members agree, we may look for next week Monday, where we will consider those submissions. I don't see it with the apologies that we have serving it successfully in today's meeting. So I will want to propose that we deal with that item next week Monday or any other day that members of the committee will feel comfortable to have it in the meeting. Can I check if there is any proposal for the adoption of the agenda?
Chair, I propose that we adopt the agenda. Mtumiseni.
Thank you very much. If we any seconder.
I second Chief Whip, Honorable Chairperson Kusela.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sangoni. I'm handing over directly to Nicolette to take us through the report that will be presented to the Office of the Speaker as an update on the work that the committee has done so far. Nicolette, the platform is yours.
Good morning, Honourable Chair, Honourable members, colleagues and participants. And Chair, I'm going to take the committee through the interim report. It's currently a draft report. So it must still be dated. In terms of the introduction, it is just basically what, the mandate, and saying that Lieutenant General Kwanazi did his media statement on the 6th of July, in which he made serious public allegations regarding the existence and operation of a sophisticated criminal syndicate that has allegedly infiltrated law enforcement and intelligence structures in South Africa. These are the basic, I don't know if you want me to read through the entire text of the report.
My understanding is that the committee members have been part of this development and activities. What you can do without reading the report word for word, you can take it page by page or paragraph by paragraph, whatever way you think.
Okay.
Maybe, to say, no, look here, this is what we are saying. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect, Jane. Thank you very much.
Sorry, Chair, we have a hand from Honourable Matthys.
Chair, did you see my hand?
Honorable Matthys.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Chair, is our intention to adopt the report today? It's a 12-page report. I know most of it is just background information, but it makes it difficult for us to receive a report and we just go through it and have a bird's eye view, and then we must adopt it without reading it through thoroughly. So if our intention was to adopt it today, ideally we should have received it prior to the meeting so we could have gone through it word for word. So what was your intention on how we process this report?
Look, this report is meant to update the speaker on the work that the committee has done. But what is fundamental is that this report is a basis upon which the extension is sought. It is not a report that is meant for, like, if you listen to what Nicolette say, that this is just a draft. But in the last meeting, the members have said, when you write a letter of extension, requesting extension to the speaker, it must be accompanied by a brief report of what the committee has done, so that the speaker can be able to appreciate that this is the amount of work that has been done and this is the work that is still outstanding, and therefore the request for extension is justified. And that is basically why members said, let's see the report before it is sent out. The intention is that we must write to the Office of the Speaker today, because what I heard is that there may be no other sittings between now in the end of this month, except for this week. So you would want that request to be processed in time. If members may want to have time to read the report, they can still go through the report and make inputs that they make before we send the letter of request to the speaker. I don't know if that explanation is adequate, Honorable Matthews.
Yes, Chair, we understood it in that way. What we were just raising is that we not going to have time to really read through it properly. But let's just go through it. It's always ideal when we are adopting reports or something that we, especially in the space that we are in, that we are able to properly read and not just have a bird's eye view. But it's fine.
If members feel that the report must be read, I will not have a problem, and it's nobody's mistake. You know that Nicolette is in our meetings every day.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah.
Record all the proceedings, and she had to work all over the weekend.
Yeah.
If the report is ready today, we must appreciate that work that she has done. She has produced the report, is here before us. Nicolette, just do your best to make members understand the report, and each one of them satisfy themselves that due diligence has been done on the report.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. Honourable members, I'm just going to then take you very quickly to the section of the report stating the progress that has been made to date. So the introduction is just what Honourable Kwanazi said. If we skip through, and then the process that was followed in terms of the
directives given by the Speaker of the National Assembly. So here we have the resolution of the NA. It is just copied word for word, stating here that the committee started its official work on the 5th of August to elect the chairperson. We have here the legal framework, just stating the statutory obligations of Parliament.
So I'm just scrolling through. Section 3, we have the format of the inquiry, just stating that the committee adopted its terms of reference, which sets out the objectives, scope and format of the inquiry. We say here that the inquiry is conducted in an inquisitorial process,
Keeping in line with Parliament's oversight mandate. It's not so it's it's structured through an evidence-based process, stating here that the evidence leader was appointed, after which members of the committee are afforded the opportunity to engage with the witnesses. Section 4 deals with the mandate and the scope of the inquiry of the committee. So this is nothing or not new information to the committee. Going through, we list the committee's objectives, and it's as stated in the terms of reference. We are going on to the key areas for consideration. It's basically the scope of the committee, the 18 areas that was
or were identified to be focused on. So here we just have the details of the senior counsel and the assistance by the advocates. Then we say here that just explaining that Lieutenant General Kwanazi was unable to attend the committee earlier than the 7th of October because of his commitments at the Matlanga Commission. In terms of the progress to date, and this is really the focus of this report to be submitted and adopted, we say here that in line with this mandate, the committee held a series of hearings from 7 October to 6 November, during which it engaged in 9 witnesses. Honourable members, we list the witnesses and the dates that they appeared on. And then section 5.2 deals with the identified witnesses or additional witnesses. As members know, tomorrow we will have Advocate Batoy, the National Director of Public Prosecutions. On Thursday and Friday, we'll have Mr. Kabindi, that's Chief of Staff for Minister Machunga. Then further witnesses identified as Mr. Kwanasi, the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department. We have Mr. Paul Sullivan, a private citizen, Lieutenant General Kumalo, who is the Divisional Commissioner for Crime Intelligence. We have Brigadier Kunini, the SABC head for serious and violent crime. We have Ms. Patricia Mashale, a private citizen, and Mr. Brown Khotsi, also a private citizen. As indicated here, honourable members, from 12 to 17, these still needs to be scheduled on our program. And just a note here that General Kumalo has been unable to attend due to ill health. Section 5.3 indicates that the evidence presented thus far led to the committee having identified further witnesses whose testimony it believes to be material to the inquiry, and instruction was given to senior counsel to consult the witnesses before they appear before it. And also, as members know, there may be a need to recall certain witnesses. And 5.4 just says that as the preparation and presentation of witness testimony takes time, the committee does not envisage that it will complete hearings of the witnesses' testimony before the end of November. And also, once it is heard from all the witnesses, the committee must still engage in its deliberative process, in which it considers the totality of evidence before it, draws conclusions and make recommendations before reporting to the House. In terms of public participation, members, it's just an update. We state here the guiding section of the Constitution that directs Parliament to hold public participation, stating here that we published for public participation on the 19th of September, and the closing date was 17th of October. So the call was open for a month. As members know, we've received several hundreds of emails, and as previously indicated by Dr. Tully, we have systematically analyzed the submissions, and many of them was from a single electronic point, and others were from repeat submissions or submissions for clarity from members of the public. So that brought us to a total of 286 written submissions of a substantive nature. As I stated, the initial assessment of submissions, there was a repeating theme of interference, corruption, and misconduct with the police and criminal justice environment, and that suggests evidence of government failure of a systemic nature. Going forward, honourable members, the committee intends to meet to discuss the appropriate response to the submissions, and having done so, may wish to call some submitters to appear before it to give oral evidence. Based on this, also, members, due to the high volume of the submissions and the key that has been required when considering the submissions containing very sensitive information, again, the committee does not believe that there is sufficient time for it to finalise its public participation process before the deadline of 28 November. The concluding section is just to note the extension required. 7.1 sets out the the reasons. 7.11 states that based on the evidence before it, the committee have identified several additional witnesses that has suspected material to the inquiry. Section 7.1.2 just clarifies or states again that the public submissions process has not been concluded, and that we still need to engage with those people, the citizens, and that submitted evidence. And as a closing paragraph, it just says that the committee therefore requests a further extension to afford it sufficient opportunity to complete its work, consider the work that is still required, and the committee's concern about not rushing its public participation process. Thank you, honourable members. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Nicolette van Zyl. Thank you so much for your outstanding work. Honourable members, the report has been presented before you. Let me welcome Honourable Mnwango to the meeting. Can I then rotate and hear what are your impressions on the report, the ANC?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I don't think that we have any fundamental opposition to the report, except for on the issue of witnesses that are still to be called. Maybe it's just a clarity that, I saw that a lot of the officials, I think it's Lieutenant Dimpane, and I didn't see them on the list. Is that to explain that they still have not been consulted, and not that that list is exhaustive? But otherwise, Chair, we support the request for an extension, and we would also want to propose that at some point, perhaps we must have a discussion on how long this extension has to be, because it can't be in perpetuity that we run this Ad Hoc Committee. But thank you very much.
Members, can you still hear her?
I thought she had stopped speaking, Chair.
Honourable Sangweni.
I'm done, Chair. I finished.
Yeah, there is the last part that I missed because you faded.
Oh, apologies, Chair. No, my last point was that we must discuss as the committee, even if it's not today, we must discuss how long we want to continue this commission. So while we are not saying we request an extension for 2 months or whatever, but it's important that we have a consideration of a hard stop date. Otherwise, we'll keep extending. And the intention of this committee was.
Are you in a position to suggest the amount of time that is still needed?
It's going to be difficult for us to suggest just how much time is needed. Maybe once these consultations have been concluded and we finalize the list, we may want to then have a discussion about how do we manage time more efficiently? Can we pack more in? Can we shorten? So
Thank you so much. Let's think about it, because I said when we started that we are going to meet the speaker on Wednesday morning, and it will be good for the chair to get the input of committee members to say, when you go to that meeting, even if it's not today, but members can just suggest to say, with the work that we have done so far, we may need to work until this time next year, we think we will be done. So that, and I guess the extension we request is going to be the last extension. The MKP. The DA.
I'm not sure if Honorable Breitenbach is one.
Can you just deal with the Diane, please? I can't speak now.
Certainly. I think, as ever, that Nicolette has done a wonderful job. So I find the report absolutely spot on. Thank you so much.
Court and Banda, thank you so much. The EFF.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, we note and appreciate the report. We aligned with it. Also, just to follow up on the issue of witnesses, whether it was intentional not to list all the witnesses that we had said that we wanted to engage. I noticed that Professor Mary Diaz is not on there, who was also one of our key witnesses, and then also some of the lieutenant generals. So maybe we can just get guidance, and perhaps Nicola can just say that that there are other witnesses as well, or maybe just do a summary of how many, because we had finalized that list and who we will take written submissions from, etc. And largely that brings me to the next point, Chair, is that can inform our on how much time we need, because once we finalize these witnesses, then we can do the public participation separately once we finalize that. And because I would hate for us to make an uninformed decision. So by now it would have been, or perhaps our evidence leaders should look into that. In our last meeting, Chair, you'd note we also asked the evidence leaders to advise us whether they need more human resources so we can get through the submissions. Not the submissions, the statements much more quicker, etc. So this is going to help speed through the process. So those are all things that will inform our decision on how much time that we need. But otherwise, we are, as the EFF, happy with the report. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. We will have a presentation on the timetable after this item. And I know Professor Mary Diaz is coming next week, Tuesday. I think once the timetable is presented, Nicolette should be able to iron other things pertaining to the witnesses. Honorable Pangazita.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. Well, thank you for this opportunity, and I do want to align myself with those who actually have appreciated the work that has been done so far and the report, and we perfectly align ourselves with what is contained in the report. Now, regarding the list of witnesses to be invited, I thought that we had also included the name of Mr. Matlala, even though it was not clear how we are going to actually get hold of him, since he is actually behind bars. But I hope that we will be able to deliberate on that find the way forward. Thank you so much. We appreciate the report.
Okay. Thank you so much. Members, on the witnesses, I'm going to encourage you that let's discuss the witnesses when we deal with the timetable, because it is the one that will tell us who appears when and which of the witnesses are having dates that are not allocated because of the deadline of the 28th of November. So once we have that report of the witnesses, the timetable, and then having written a letter of extension, we can always come back and go through the timetable once again to say now that the extension has been granted. Remember, the legal team is unable to work beyond the date of the 28th of November. And that is why you will have some of the witnesses without allocation of dates of consultations and appearances. But I think that will become very clear when the timetable is presented, but that does not take away the observations that members are making on this item. Honorable Sols.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning to yourself and all colleagues. We do support the report for the extension, and also support the proposal that it is important that we do decide on how long we want this to stretch on and decide on an end date. Otherwise, we risk of conducting ourselves in the same way as the behavior we are currently busy investigating. Because we know that the PKTT has behaved the same way. There was an end date and there was continuous extension till now. We should avoid that. We should decide on what is our end date, stick to it, and then finish up. So we support, Chair.
Thank you so much. Honorable Vessels.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning once again. Chair, nothing to add, only also our appreciation for the good work, and we do think that the report is a true reflection and does motivate the need for an extension. Thank you, Chair.
Nicolette, members say that they cannot stop thanking you. From my part as the Chair, and I'm saying this because Honorable James is in the meeting, but we received a report that she may not be able to speak. So the honorable members must not be surprised when we do not check with her. We want to thank you so much profusely, Nicolette van Zyl, for the sterling work that you have done, ever present in the committee meetings. Your work has not gone unnoticed. Members have said it here in appreciation of the good work that you have done for the committee. I think you have noted the observations when the timetable is presented. Just make sure that the witnesses that you have on your report are aligned to the timetable of the legal team, and those witnesses that are unallocated must be correctly put in their category so that we are able to motivate properly or appropriately to the speaker to say, we still have the following key witnesses like Dumisani Kumalo, Brian Mokhodzi, so and so, who still have to appear before the committee, and it may not be possible for them to appear anytime before the 28th of November. So that's why we request for extension, including public submissions. You made a very important, you made reference to a very important provision of public participation in the Constitution. If Parliament can't represent the people of South Africa, or cannot consider public submissions, it is as good as it does not exist. So it's very important that that provision has been referred to in your report. Andile, can I check if you are ready to present the timetable?
No, Chair, that's not me. I'm gonna speak briefly about the opinion. Remember, that's a function which sits with Dr. Twalo.
Yeah, it's fine. Whoever is here to present the item, can we go through on the timetable?
Morning once again, Chair. I don't know if it's me, but and I hope that we were talking about the draft program that we have. Maybe just to start by indicating that these are the witnesses that we have who have appeared before the committee from the 7th of October. And then tomorrow, Advocate Badoi is scheduled to appear before the committee. On Thursday and Friday, we've got Mr. Cedric Nkabinde, who's scheduled to appear. And the next week, we have Professor Mary Dihas on the 18th. And on the 19th, we've got General Msigidi. The 20th and the 21st, we've got Lieutenant General Fani and Lieutenant General Dimpani. 25th November, the proposal is to have Lieutenant General Sentumule. 26, 27, and 28, the proposal is to have Mr. Vusumuzi Matlala. That will take us to the 28th, which will be the last day of the committee unless we're granted an extension. We also have a note here which indicates witnesses who do not have dates at the moment. We've got General Mkwanazi from Ekurhuleni Metro. We've got Mr. O'Sullivan, General Kumalo. Then there's General Kunene, Ms. Patricia Mashale, Mr. Bran Mukhosi, who was scheduled to appear before our committee but can't because he will be appearing before the Madlanga Commission. We've got a clash of days there. That would be it, Chair, in terms of the proposal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, honorable members. For this week is Advocate Badoi and Cedric Nkabinde. And next week is Mary Dihas, Professor Mary Dihas, and then Lieutenant General Musikidi, who was the acting police commissioner. And then we will have the head of procurement at the SAPS, General Fani, and the CFO, General Dimbane. And then there was a decision of the committee that General Sentumule should be written a letter together with other senior officials in the SAPS And then General Sintumule has written a letter to the committee last week, Friday, and said that in the light of the presentations that were made by the head of IDEC, he would also want to be afforded an opportunity to appear before the committee. It's for the committee to agree to that request. And if the committee agrees to the request, the proposal is that she will come that other week. And then we are also going to receive a report on Matala, Mr. Matala. The senior counsel is making arrangements with the legal team to have virtual consultations with Mr. Matala. And the security team of Parliament went to Pretoria to the correctional services facility where he is to make an assessment whether the committee can go and conduct its hearings there, or whether the committee will want to do virtual hearings. So the committee can decide if, on the basis of the report that the security would have presented, whether the committee will want to go to Pretoria or the committee will opt for virtual hearings. And then the rest will be the list of witnesses that the committee has decided, who for now the legal team could not act beyond the 28th of November. It is only after the extension has been granted that the committee can come and the legal team can come and present a revised timetable to the committee, knowing that the extension has been granted, and the committee can always approve that revised timetable. And then the meeting that we will go to on Wednesday with the Speaker and House Chair Frolic and the Chairperson of the JSDI is to further deal with matters that affect the IGI, because we felt that we must not hold the work of the committee by featuring witnesses that have not done consultations, because there are still matters that we have to deal with between ourselves and the JSCI for them to allow the IGI or any other witness coming from them to come and appear before the committee. Or if there is any other way that they will want the committee to understand how they are dealing with those matters. So we will go back to that meeting on Wednesday and deal with the matter of the IGI, and we'll come back and give the committee a report. So that is the proposed timetable, honorable members, for this week and the coming week. In the event the extension is granted, the committee can always revise and prioritize witnesses. I know somebody may ask why General Kumalo is not here, why Brown Mkhodzi is not here on the list coming this week and next week. The consultations have not been made with them after we wrote them, after we wrote letters, or after I signed their letters. The person who was very quick to respond to say, I want to come, was Mr. Madala. But he was also asking questions about where is he sleeping in Cape Town. He doesn't want to be transported by the police, and so on and so forth. So our legal team of Parliament had to deal with those matters that he was raising in his letters, and what Parliament can do and what Parliament cannot do. The same with Brown Mkhodzi. When we wrote to him he asked us more or less the same questions about his security, the security of his family, and who is paying for his transportation and accommodation to Cape Town. And then we had to get our legal team to respond to his letter to say, Parliament can only provide transport and accommodation services. Issues of security and any other matter, they lie outside of the services that we can provide as Parliament. But I mean, there are no difficulties on the part of these witnesses to appear before the committee. It's just to sort out those logistics, have the extension, and then we can always have a revised proposals as to when consultations can be concluded with them and when can their appearance be scheduled before the ad hoc committee. Thank you so much. Can I take the rotation? ANC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. The draft program as presented is noted. I think our concern is really just these issues around Mr. Mkhotsi. I'm not sure if, having had those discussions with them, there has been any resolution or consideration of what the way forward should be. We support the committee going to Pretoria if needs be for the hearing with Mr. Matlala. I think we had established a principle right at the beginning that we would not be having virtual hearings. So if the best way to secure the witness is to travel to Pretoria, I think that we would support that as the ANC. And then let's also appreciate, Chair, the notice that you will be meeting with the chairperson of the JSCI. I think that matter is long overdue, and it's important as well to understand what are the frameworks we can work within for the purposes of the JSCI considerations. We would not want to go into any other witnesses at this point, Chair, because as you are saying, it's an exercise in futility until that extension has been granted. So we support the program as it stands. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Tango. And maybe before, can I check, Bonani, is there a representative of the security team to give us a report of the assessment they did at Kgosimampuru?
Chair, I think Mr. Mpilo is on the platform.
Okay.
But I just don't know if he came ready to make the briefing, but he is on the platform.
Yeah. Mr. Mpilo.
Good afternoon. Good morning, Honorable Chair and Honorable members. Indeed, Chair, please accept my apology because it is a verbal report. I am, however, concluding the written report. Chair, the visit on Friday, we met with the team from Croissant Services. They are of the view that they have a facility at Kgosimampuru that can host the session of the Ad Hoc Committee. In our scope of the visit, Chair, we have looked at the conference, or rather the hall or the facility that can accommodate our requirements, including the members of the public. We've also looked at the support and infrastructure, holding room, ablution, whether they have stable internet, adequate parking, access to the facility by both the members and the public, catering facility, PA system, and the possibility of collaborating with Gauteng Security Cluster. to ensure that the security provision is made in this regard. Indeed, Chair, the findings on our end suggest that they do have adequate facility that they can host up to 400 people. It is dividable. If we want to make it smaller, we can do that. The facility also has adequate chairs and tables that can comply with our requirements. They also have a space that is dividable as well, where they can provide catering. They also have adequate holding room should it be required that during the sessions it be used. The facility has adequate ablution facility as it is required in terms of the building regulations. The internet availability is stable. Department of Correctional Services are willing to increase the capacity should it be required on our end. They also have adequate parking, access to the Hoshmampuru in collaboration with Correctional Services, who will be able to facilitate access for both public media and then, of course, the MPs, including the support staff. They also have a catering facility that they can cook, or if we're choosing to procure catering, caterers will be able to prepare for the food. They also have a PA system with a relatively required number of mics that can be used during the proceedings. The generally, in terms of security, is a secured facility. Would of course coordinate and collaborate with the Gauteng security cluster, including traffic and police fire escort, where members will be staying up to the facility and will administer at the gate up to the hall where it will be hosted. We just have to really look into a very specific technical requirements on the side of ICT and what the Community Secretary may require. From a distance, Chair, from security point of view, they have adequate facility that can host this session, Chair. There is a follow-up meeting arranged with them should we be advised by the committee that we should continue to engage so that they can further take us through with other technical units. Thank you so much, Chair.
Okay. Not to prejudice you, Honorable Sangoni, I think at the time I allowed you to speak, I had forgotten to integrate the security report into the timetable. Do you have anything that you may want to comment on, given the last part of the report?
Thank you, Chair. Based on the report that we've just received, we are even more convinced that we support going to Hoshmampuru. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much. Do we still have any other speaker from the ANC?
Chair, can I, with your permission, just make an addition? Not exactly on the...
You are allowed. We are going to release Ngola so that he must not miss his flight. Let's just remind him that it's 12 o'clock.
All right.
Okay.
No, Chair, I wanted to make a request in addition to what Kusela has said, which I support fully. I wanted to make a request that given the long list of witnesses that we have worked on and was presented here, with whatever shortcomings it might have, I want to request that each one of us, at least from the various political parties, be encouraged to re-look at the list in the context of the names that we may have proposed or those that are proposed by our other colleagues, with an intention of finding a way in which we can slightly reduce the list of those who should appear before us, and maybe increase on the side, or maybe create another list where we will only be interested on the submission of affidavits. So I'm appealing that we parallel to us making a a request for an extension in Parliament, but I'm also suggesting that let's also revisit our list as as independent parties on our own, and maybe when we meet at some point, we compare notes on how we suggest we can reduce the list, Chair. And I'm making that proposal because I think our work is receiving a very good traction in society. But the longer we take on it, the more there would be fatigue. And I think the point was made earlier on by Honorable Swords that the best dancer is the one who leaves the stage at an appropriate time. Thanks.
Okay, maybe what you may have to also look at, Mr. Mpilo, is that during that week when if the committee members agree, during that week when we are in Pretoria, if there are other witnesses that are around, they can be met there so that you don't go to Pretoria to meet with Matsala. And then you have to rush to flights because the following morning you must be in Cape Town, you are meeting other witness. I don't know, but it's something that you can look at, discuss it with the legal team and the technical team, and to check how you line up the appearance of witness during that week. And if the authorities at Correctional Service agree for you to use their facility or any other authority that is there around Pretoria, you can look at such arrangements. I'm just trying to avoid a situation where we come back from Pretoria to Cape Town to listen to one witness the following day and fly back to the former Transvaal. The MKP. I saw Comrade Honorable Nomvalo, you have joined us. Welcome and good afternoon to you. If you are not ready, you may.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Am I audible, Chair?
Yes, I can hear you. I was saying if you need some time, you can allow me to rotate. I'll come back to you.
Yeah, no, Chair. I'm in the middle of something as well here. I just wanted to report that there is an organizational activity that is also yes, that is underway that we are also paying attention to. That is why we are not paying our 100% attention to this meeting.
Okay, but are you following the developments in the meeting?
Here and there, Chair. We're following here and there.
The little that you could get, you agree with.
Maybe let's allow other speakers to come in, then we'll come thereafter.
Okay, thank you so much. The Democratic Alliance.
Thank you, Chair. I think everything's shaping up very well. I agree with Honourable Swords. We do need an end date because this could stretch on for the next 5 years, frankly. But the one query I had, considering I think we need to focus on the safety of our witnesses within the parliamentary precinct. I'm hoping very much that you as a committee, you're working with the parliamentary protection services, considering the death threat against Advocate Johnson, and then of course Matthew Sissoko as the head investigator at IDAC being kidnapped, beaten up, and his official phone and laptop stolen at the weekend. As it comes to an end, so things are going to get hotter and hotter as people want to protect information, and I fear lives might be lost at some stage. So I think we need to be very careful that nothing happens on our turf. So I'd like some assurance that you are working with people and protection officers within the parliamentary precinct. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kola Barnett, the DFF.
Thank you, Chair. The draft program, it's noted. I would just like or make a request, Chair, that it's circulated in the group. It also helps us with our scheduling, and that it just indicates that this is the draft program as of whichever date, because we understand that it's getting updated from time to time. And also that on the actual draft program, next to each name, it just clarifies whether that particular witness has been contacted and the actual status, because most of what was presented here says, I think it said to be processed or to be confirmed, and your narrative was saying a different story. So perhaps maybe you just flighted an outdated one. But just so we can have a clear status on each of the witnesses, like whether they've been consulted, whether they've been contacted, whether the consultation is undergoing. So that will just help us have a clearer understanding where we are. Yeah, we definitely support that we do the witness at Fosi Mampuru prison, and also if there are any other witnesses in the area, and we can try and hit 2 birds or 3 birds down with 1 stone. I definitely agree that we do must have an end date in sight, so we don't have an ongoing process. I would like to caution the committee that it must be an informed decision. I disagree with the ANC Chief Whip's position that the best show is when the dancer knows how to leave the stage, or something like that. Comrade Mdu, this is very serious work that we're doing, and it's not necessarily for show. So we do need to make sure that we prioritize, that we are being thorough. I do understand that we are running low, and it is getting fatigued, and we're all suffering from fatigue at this moment. But as we can see, every single witness that comes, it just shows how deep the rot is and how systemic the rot is in our justice system. So I would hate, Chair, that we've come this far and we've done some work, and then we drop the ball towards the end because we are being fatigued. So let us make an informed decision about what is going on. We'd also just like to engage also, and maybe we can do this offline as well, and the evidence leaders and how they are taking statements. I think that is also going to help us to be able to move quicker, even with our questioning while we are engaging with the witnesses. And the last point that I would like... no, I'm fine. I'm covered, Chair. I don't think there's anything else that we need to respond to. Is there anything else? I think I'm covered.
Thank you so much. Just to say to you that I met with the legal team just to satisfy myself that the witnesses that are being scheduled are those ones that have been consulted. And they have assured me that these are the witnesses that have been consulted, those that of course, there would be those whose statements would not be concluded. And that is why you see they are not here today in our meeting, is for the purpose of finalizing those consultations to make sure that the statements are made available to the members. Honorable Mwango.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. We support the draft program.
Ad Hoc Committee. Hello?
And we support the draft program, and also the suggestion that, if possible, we be able to kill more birds with 1 stone in terms of actually being able to interview other witnesses whilst we out there in Pretoria. We would support that. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Honorable Sauls.
Support, Chair.
Honorable Vessels.
Covered. Thank you, Chairperson.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to request that with the two items that we have dealt with, if the support team can start putting up a letter for the signature of the chairperson, incorporating the motivations that the committee members have made, so that by the end of business today, the letter should be with the office of the speaker. If there are members of the secretariat who may want to be released from the meeting to go and do exactly that, you are released, and so that we can have the letter ready on time. May we move to the next item, which is the legal opinion. That is the item that I had you picking, Andy, to say, no, Chairperson, I have my item here.
Good afternoon, Chairperson, and good afternoon to the honorable members. Chairperson, you will recall that on the 29th of October, I presented an opinion in our committee meeting at M46, and of course, members were concerned about the fact that we had not reduced that to writing. So, Chairperson, we did that, and of course, we sent it to the secretariat last week, and my understanding is that it was circulated last week. So, Chairperson, I don't want to waste much of your time, because the oral presentation that we did, Chairperson, dovetails with the written version, of the opinion. So, in other words, Chairperson, we are still of the same view. But I think, Chairperson, perhaps just to give a summary, that if you look at the participation of Honorable Collar Barnett, it's at two levels. One is in terms of Rule 185. She participates in this committee as a member of the National Assembly in terms of Rule 185. And then she participates in this committee as an alternate in terms of Rule 156. Chairperson, you will recall that, when I presented to the members, Honorable Newman, I was saying it's for the first time that he's saying an opinion without reference being made to the rules. No choice, because we're just making a summary on the day. But Rule 30, Chairperson, speaks about declaration of private interests. And I think it assists us insofar as it says that a member must, at the commencement of the engagement on the matter, and you will recall, even you kept on saying, what is on the matter and this and that. I took that directly from the rule itself. But Chairperson, our opinion deals with the test, for bias, and of course, we make the point that in terms of our legal authorities, the most progressive post, 1994 ruling was the one for SARF. And of course, what the judgment says insofar as the test, for bias, is that the test for reasonable apprehension of bias is objective, and that the onus of establishing it rests upon the applicant. And of course, we then deal with the issue of just making a delineation between, impartiality and bias. And you will see that emerged out of a Supreme Court of Appeal case, S. versus Lestrange, where the court noted that impartiality can be described as a state of mind in which the adjudicator is disinterested in the outcome and is open to persuasion by the evidence and submissions. And in contrast, bias denotes a state of mind that is in some way predisposed to a particular result, or that is closed with regard to particular issues. So, Chairperson, the issue we're making, even without waste of time, is that if you look at the test for bias, even when it comes to judges, the test is the threshold, for establishing bias is very high. And of course, speculative or subjective concerns are insufficient. Now, we're saying it's even higher for politicians. because politicians, Chair, operate in the public domain. They carry a mandate, Chair, to speak on behalf of their constituencies. And Chairperson, we're of the view that, as articulated in SARF, the applicant for recusal bears the honors, and that the application must be determined on the correct facts. It is evident that mere allegations that have not been tested would rarely, if ever, meet the test. And we say that, Chair, as things currently stand, no information has been placed before us that justifies the inference that the affected member has predetermined the outcome of this inquiry. Neither have we observed nor been privy to any evidence that indicates that the affected member has made up her mind in relation to the subject matter of the inquiry. We say, Chair, on any dispassionate review of the proceedings thus far, the affected member has not displayed conduct that demonstrates that she has breached the matter and that her mind is closed to any submissions or evidence to the contrary, which in our view, that ultimately is the test for bias or the reasonable apprehension thereof. We also point out, Chair, that the affected member is neither a decision maker, a member of the committee. She's an alternate. We say the committee as a whole deliberates on the evidence presented to it, and then conveys its conclusions to the National Assembly. We're not aware of any reason for the affected member to withdraw from the inquiry, save for withdrawing from the proceedings of the committee at the commencement of engagement on the allegations against members of parliament with regards to classified information released to them. We're saying that the allegation is specific and therefore the remedy must be limited to the allegation. But importantly, Chair, we say when faced with an application for recusal, the affected member should consider her conscience and decide whether she is indeed biased or has given the impression to the reasonable observer that she is biased. If so, she should recuse herself. And as things currently stand, Chairperson, the rules of the National Assembly are silent on the recusal of a member of the Assembly. Chairperson will end it for that for now. We're here to interact with the members and with our advice. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, Andile, for the presentation of the legal opinion. Can I then rotate and hear what the views of the members are? The ANC.
Yeah, Chair. No, thanks, and thanks to Mr. Techan and the team for the legal opinion provided on this matter. And I also want to say that we want to commend them for having done what was requested and required in any case, that a legal opinion must be written, must be grounded on facts and on the circumstances, taking into account the circumstances that we are dealing with. Now, Chair, we stated this position before as the African National Congress, that we will always go along with a legal opinion of Parliament, because that is an institution that has a responsibility to provide such services to us as a committee. Notwithstanding the fact that there may be instances where, in our own view, we do not agree with the position articulated by the legal opinion of Parliament. But because we are not engaged in a process in which we are expected to make judgments on the basis of law, we would be comfortable to move along with the proposed solutions as presented here by Mr. Techan. But I do want to register this once again, that as we said in the last meeting, that in our own view, and it's our considered view, that the weight of the allegations against Honorable Dana Konapanat is the weight is much more heavier than the ones we were dealing with on the matters relating to other members. Now, I understand very well, perfectly well, what Mr. Tejane is saying, because in all that he has argued in terms of the legal opinion, the fundamental issue is that Parliament and its rules are not making a provision for a member to be recused, excused, or removed on the basis of reasonable biasness or conflict of interest, as the case may be. And I do want to say that now, taking into account that weakness which he has identified, which I think then places a challenge on us as members of Parliament beyond this committee, just as an institution guided by them as a legal team, to reflect on this matter, because it's perfectly clear to me, it is self-evident that we will always be encountered by problems of this nature in the course of our work as parliamentarians. So it's important that we ask them to reflect on this matter in order to come back to Parliament at some point where the need arises about what kind of work must be done to strengthen our rules in Parliament. But all in all, Chairperson, I am making the point that we are not... sorry, Mr. Mwangu. I'm making the point that we are not very convinced that the merits are exactly the same, or even if that is not the argument that Tejane is making, but that the conclusion is exactly the same as the one they made on other matters. But notwithstanding that concern, we don't want the committee to delay its work on the basis that we have made that observation. So we can agree to move along with the matter, having addressed it in that context, Chairperson and members. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Chief Whip. Is there any other member from the ANC, Honorable Sangoni?
We're covered by the Chief Whip. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, MKP.
MK is in support, Chair. They're busy.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Carla Bonnet will continue to participate. Thank you. And that's the DA point of view. Nobody else will speak.
Okay. The EFF.
Chair, we align with the opinion from Parliament.
We apply with the DA, align with the DA.
Monday morning, honorable member, and you pulling me out of the woodworks. This was always the EFF's opinion. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, agreed.
Thank you so much, honorable members. IFP.
Agreed, Honorable Chairperson.
Okay, thank you so much. The PA.
Chair, we maintain our disagreement. However, for progress, and of course, we are outnumbered in terms of the decision. We subject ourselves to the majority decision of the House. But please note our disagreement still. Thank you.
That is a democratic discipline, Honorable Source, and thank you so much. Honorable Wessels.
Thank you, Chair. No, we agree with the opinion. Thank you.
Bonani, can we take the first set of minutes? Honorable members, because these are five sets of minutes, what we are going to do, we are going to present them set by set and thereafter rotate for members to give their opinions whether they support the minutes for adoption or not. I'm trying to avoid the long route of taking each set, rotating, coming back, taking a set, rotating, coming back, taking a set, rotating. It will take us an hour or two to complete the minutes. So I'm going to start with the minutes of the 7th of October. Bonani, because it is you who is moving, you can just move page by page and tell us which page we are on.
Chair, on page 1 is just the attendance register. Page 2. Now I'm on page 3. Page 4, which is the last page.
Okay, can we move to the second set? You do the same way, and then we will come and rotate after you have taken all the sets.
Okay, Chair. The second one is the 8th of October. Page 1 is the attendance as well. Page 2. And page 3 is the last one. And then we move to the 9th of October. Page 1, page 2, and page 3, which is the last. The next one is the 10th. Page 1, 2, and the last one. And then the 4th is the 10th. Page 1, 2, and the last page. And the last one is the 13th of November, page 1. And 3, which is the last one. And that will bring us to the last set of minutes, Chair.
Okay, Avenda, are you done?
Chairperson, I'm done. That was the last one.
Okay, can we start with the rotation. These minutes, honorable members, starting with the 7th of October, are the minutes starting from the day of the appearance of General Mkhwanazi, followed by General Masemola. Can I check with honorable members if you have any issues with the minutes or you want to move for the adoption? We will start with the African National Congress.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and thank you also to the Secretariat for the minutes. Chair, I don't know if it was Mr. Tekena who was presenting, and I think he said finally twice, and he may have presented the 10th of October twice. But nonetheless, Chair, on the issue of the first set of minutes, which were the 6th, we may have missed it, but I think after the matter relating to the statements was resolved, it's not very clear in the minutes that General Mkhwanazi then proceeded with the presentation of his evidence. If we could just show it in that manner. It's like we came back, we discussed other matters, not that he then went into the evidence. Then on the minutes relating to the appearance of General Masemola, I think the same request had been made to General Masemola if he did not volunteer it in his statement about written submissions that he thinks he can make for the purposes of strengthening SAPS and the criminal justice system as a whole. Then in the final set of minutes where there's a discussion around Honorable Shekeling and Honorable Skosan, I don't think it's correct in the minutes to write that Honorable Nomvalo complained. It sounds like he was whining in the meeting. So just a grammatical request there. We can just say he asserted, whatever his position was. But I don't think that complaint is necessarily the right wording. Other than that, Chair, we do think that the minutes are an accurate reflection of the meetings. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sangoni. Any other taker from the ANC Chief Whip? Okay. Let me move to the MKP. Let me move to the DA.
Fine, thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kola Barnett. Let me move to the EFF.
The minutes are noted, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you so much, IFP.
Noted. Thank you, Chair.
The PA.
The minutes are noted, Chair. Thank you.
The Freedom Front Plus.
Noted. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, honorable members. The minutes are adopted with the corrections that have been made starting on the 7th of October, Honorable Sangoni, and not the 6th. Honorable members, this was the last item on the agenda. Tomorrow we are starting with Advocate Patoi. The starting time is 10 o'clock. Agreed?
Agree.
Chair, I move that we start at 6 in the morning. I'll bring the coffee.
I've got a meeting at 8, sorry.
Agree, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, honorable members, we are starting at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you so much for your participation in the meeting.
Sorry, Chair.
Hello.
Chair, I'm so sorry. Chair, you had established a practice that on Tuesdays we would start at 11. And unfortunately, many of us then also based our travel around that. Is it imperative that it's at 10 o'clock tomorrow? Can we not retain the 11 o'clock? Thank you, Chair.
Okay. I'm worried that Advocate Pato is allocated only a day. But if members strongly feel, I don't have a problem myself. If members strongly feel that we can start at 11, it's okay. It is likely to affect the time allocation for members to ask questions, because Wednesday is the medium-term budget policy. So
the ANC forfeited an hour, Honorable Sangol.
At 11 o'clock, with the understanding that it is going to affect the allocation of time. Agreed?
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much.
I really think we need the extra time. I'm concerned that we're now cutting an hour off. Already we sit till very late at night. So I really don't think we should shift it out another hour.
That is what it means. If we start at 11, you must think yourself at 12 o'clock midnight.
Yes, Chair, I think we must support that. I think let's start at 11 and finish midnight.
I'm not staying till midnight, thank you.
Okay, honorable members, we have come to the end of the meeting.
Chair, before you close the meeting, Chair, my apology. Can I just make a proposal about the Thursday witness?
Yeah.
I know that in terms of the schedule, Chair, Mr. Nkabinde is allocated for 2 days, which is Thursday and Friday. And I wanted to request the committee, through you, of course, that on Thursday we start at 9 o'clock, so that where the possibility might exist, we drag our time with Nkabinde until midnight and we finish on the same day. If we don't succeed, that's option number one. If we don't succeed,
agreed,
then we can proceed to the morning of Friday. But my experience with Fridays is that we are not always 100% focused, because it's a traveling day to go and do our constituents work elsewhere. So if we agree on that approach, it requires you and the legal team to
motivate. The fact you motivate people may abstain from things. A lot of us agree with you.
I got cut, Chair.
Agreed members that we start at 9 on Thursday.
Yes, Chair.
Thank you so much.
Agreed.
For your participation.
Mkonto agreed.
Yes, we
go to your organizational program, MK. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much.
The meeting is adjourned.
You are immediately taking over.
Maru Chair, Chair Kusela.